Woohoo, welcome back. Tonight we're going to be working with arc length again. And if you've ever asked yourself, I wonder what it would look like if we got to do a video where the problem was really ugly and had some nasty answers, you're in luck. Okay, so I've invited Sharktopus, who is not scared of arc length, nor is he scared of really somewhat fiddly answers. And let's go ahead and see what we can do. So today we're going to do an example. We're going to find the length of, and here's the curve, y squared equals x cubed between the points 1, 1 and 4, 8. And then I ask a very simple question, what does the graph look like? And immediately I am lying to you because I've drawn this, I haven't drawn this, Desmos drew this, and I copied it, and I've got this beautiful graph, and in fact, that is not what the curve looks like. Notice that this is the curve where y would be something like x cubed, not y squared. So in fact, pardon me, Sharktopus, this is just one piece of the graph. The graph, I'm going to move Sharktopus out of the way completely, so he'll be back, don't worry. If we actually graph y squared equals x cubed, there are actually two branches because it's y squared. So it goes up like this and it comes down like that, right? Because it's y squared equals x cubed. So then, why did I only show you this? Well, I wanted to show you a nice big graph, and because I wanted to be able to look in, and if I can find the point. There's the point 1, 1. And the point 4, 8 is right here. And this is my chance. Come on back. Thank you. Here's Sharktopus. He's right there, being supportive. And this is my chance to explain why we've been so ferocious about saying we need to use functions. And the answer is because when you've got two branches like this, then you have to be very specific. You can't just say when x equals 1 or x equals 4, because x equals 1 twice here and x equals 4 twice. And so you have to be very, very specific. So it's 1, 1 to 4, 8. So it is this arc length along this curve, the upper branch. So that's what we're going to be calculating. Woohoo! You guys excited? I'm excited. Okay, here we go. So the very first thing I do is confuse everyone. No, the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this scooch bigger so that I can make sure everything is really visible. And I'm going to remind you that I had y squared equals x cubed. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm taking the square root of both sides, and I'm choosing specifically the positive or the principal square root so that I end up with the upper branch, not the lower branch. So that's important. If I wanted the lower branch, I would go with y equals the opposite of x to the 3/2. Then I'm going to take the derivative. Okay, not too bad. I can take the derivative. 3/2 comes down. I subtract 1. I get x to the 1/2. So everything is going pretty well. And then I'm going to take this derivative and I'm going to square it. Okay, that's kind of nice since this is the square root of x. When I square it, I just get x. And so I hope you're all thinking, oh, well, this isn't bad at all. What were you even talking about? And the answer is, oh, just you wait and see. It's going to be super fun. Okay, so, woohoo. Remember, we have the arc length formula. And so the trick is to remember the arc length formula. And we had just done it. Pardon me. I pushed Sharktopus off to the side. Remember, arc length is the integral from a to b, and it's square root, so that's going to make it pretty exciting, 1 plus the first derivative squared dx. So it's that weird, you take the derivative and you square it. So that's what we're getting ready for. So in this particular case, we've got that the arc length is from 1 to 4. Those are the x values. And it's radical 1 plus 9/4 x, because that's that square of the first derivative. Let me make that even more clearly first derivative. Okay. Piece of cake, right? Okay. Shall we integrate? Woohoo. I'm going to write down that integral again, just so we don't lose sight of what's happening here. So we've got the integral from 1 to 4, radical 1 plus 9/4 x dx. Again, easy peasy, right? So let's see how easy peasy this is. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to use a u substitution. Now, it is possible that at this point you guys are getting so good at integrals that you can do this kind of in your head. That's perfectly fine. But what? But I'm going to encourage you to show the work anyway, just in case. Push your brain to do more, but always practice writing more as well. So hit it from both sides. Okay. So here we go. Oh. Wow. Sharktopus isn't the only bloodsucker in the building. Okay, if that guy ever slows down, I may have to do something about it. I'm going to set u equal to 1 plus 9/4 x. So du is 9/4 dx, which means that dx is 4/9 du. Do you guys agree? Take a look at that. Make sure you agree. I multiply both sides by 4/9. Okay, so now the question comes up. Do you convert the limits, or do you just assign them a and b and then reconvert? And I thought about it. I thought, well, I always put it off because that was always my choice. And I thought, I should give you an example of converting the limits, in the moment. So let's go ahead and do it. It's not too bad. So our first limit, x equals 1. So here are the limits. Okay. So our first limit is going to be x equals 1. And so when x equals 1, u equals 1 plus 9/4 times 1, which is 1 plus 9/4, which is 4/4 plus 9/4, which is 13/4. Yay! Oh, that's going to be so much fun. What a great number, don't you think? Yeah, it's going to be so awesome. Yay, this is so much fun. Okay, then what's the other limit? The other limit is when x equals 4. U is 1 plus 9/4 times 4. This is very exciting because the 4's cancel. So it's 1 plus 9, which is 10. Yay! Okay, so this is what it looks like to convert the limits. I'm actually going to go ahead and get the lower limit and the upper limit in the u-verse, so we don't have to switch back to x. We can just integrate in u and then solve in u. It's going to be so much fun. So the integral from 1 to 4 of radical 1 plus 9/4 x dx is now going to be my new limits, 13/4 to 10, radical u, and then dx, remember, is going to be 4/9 du. Oh, and all of that you couldn't see. So let me go ahead and scooch this up. Sorry, I'm so zoomed in, you guys couldn't see it. So let's do it one more time. So sorry about that. Sharktopus is supposed to warn me about things like this, but sometimes Sharktopus is having more fun going, hey, 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 hey. So he forgets. So the arc length is the integral from 1 to 4 of, this was our arc length formula, but I'm now using the new u limits, right? So when x was 1, we now have u equals 13/4. And when x was 4, now we have u equals 10, right? So we're converting the limits, and then I'm also using the substitution that u is 1, where is it? U, oh, it's up here where you can't see it. U equals 1 plus 9/4 x. So I'm going to plug that in right here. And then the dx was equal to 4/9 du. Okay, so far so good. Woohoo. I'm going to pull the 4/9 out. And then I personally do better. Let me scooch this again. I do better when I write the exponents out rather than writing as square root. You know, you do you, but I'm going to do u to the 1/2 du like that. Woohoo. And then I can very simply integrate. This is going to be u to the 3/2 all over 3/2. And this is where it's going to get a little bit itchy, especially if you're not a big fan of fractions, because, oh my gosh, fractions be popping everywhere. Look at all these fractions. It's like fraction palooza. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if we can clean this up. I'm going to remind you that if you've got a fraction in the denominator, when it comes up, it flips upside down because you're really dividing, so you take the reciprocal. So this is going to be 4/9 times 2/3. I know, I was very excited. I thought, oh, they're going to cancel. They're not going to cancel. They're not. They're just going to laugh at us. They're just going to look at us and be like, ha, I laugh at you. And we're going to go from 13/4 to 10. Okay. We still there? You still there, Sharktopus? Yes. Okay. Next step. Like this is the nitty-gritty, the gruesome. I'm going to go down here. I have never met a mosquito that wanted to learn calculus this badly. So I think I've got 8/27. And then I'm going to do something interesting. U to the 3/2 is really u to the first plus 1/2, right? Which is 8/27 u times radical u between 13/4 and 10. Do you guys see that? Now, there are many ways I could play this, but I happen to know, because I always do the problems once before I do them for the video. That makes sense. And I happen to know that it's just, this is cubing and square rooting 13/4 is not something that you want to do. It's maybe something that Sharktopus wants to do, but it's not something you want to do. So I'm going to recommend that we not do that. So one of the tricks is, instead of doing 3/2, I can write that as 1/2, and that's u to the first times the square root of u. Okay? So it's a little trick I wanted to show you. You don't have to do this, but I personally think it's going to make what comes next easier. So let me go ahead. I'm going to copy that down. So I've got 8/27 u times radical u times, between 13/4 and 10, okay? And so then, woohoo, then we're going to go ahead and plug these values in. So this is 8/27 times 10 radical 10 minus 13/4 times radical 13/4. Which I personally think so much easier than cubing anything, especially 13s. You don't need to cube 13. Really, you don't. And so then the next question is, what do we even have here? Right? When we're looking at all of this and we see that we've got this situation where we've got a 4 here, and then we've got the square root, which we can't leave inside the square root. Square root of 10, radical 10, there's no good way to simplify that. It doesn't simplify nicely. Square root of 13, radical 13 doesn't simplify nicely, but the square root of 4, radical 4, that's going to be 2. So 8/27 times 10 radical 10. Not much I can do there, but here I get 13/4 radical 13 radical 4. That's really 2. Right? So then I've got 8/27 times 10 radical 10 minus 13/8 times radical 13, right? I took the 2 here and the 4 there. Okay, so that's 8/27 times 10 radical 10. Let me lift it up so you can actually see that. Let's try that again. 8/27 times 10 radical 10 minus 8/27 times 13/8 times radical 13. And why did I go to all this trouble? The eighths cancel. Is that not magical? It's so magical. So then we get 80 radical 10 over 27. Let's scooch that up again. And then here, I've got minus 13 radical 13 all over 27. At which point I'm like, wait a minute. We should get these two crazy kids together because they got common denominators. I wonder what else they have in common. Tell me we're not missing out on a great romantic comedy right here. They didn't think they had anything in common until they found out they had common denominators, right? Tell me that wouldn't be a worldwide hit. Seriously. Sharktopus could star. You know, and Sharktopus would eat the bad guy. So, there we go. I promised you gruesome. It's not really that gruesome. Hopefully every step made sense. It's not a really nice answer, but this is exactly what it equals. And if you needed to figure out what that was, you know, in the real world, because this is really hard to estimate as a human, you can plug it into your calculator. But at this stage, I mean, I think it's really cool to be able to say this is the arc length. Exactly. So there we go. There's our arc length. Woohoo. It's been just about 17 minutes, 18 minutes. So I'm going to stop there. I've got one more example I want to do for you. So I'm going to bring Sharktopus back at least one more time. Not sure if he's around for all the other sections in this chapter, but at the very least, we'll bring him back. We'll do one more example. You will enjoy it. It'll be super fun. But in the meantime, please take a break, you know? Get a snack, get something to drink. Go hug somebody or a pet or yourself and know that you are awesome. Sharktopus is awesome. Math is awesome. I don't know if the square root of 13 is awesome, but you know, for today, let's say it is. Square root of 13, also awesome, right? It's something between 3 and 4. So it's probably an awesome number. Anyway, I will see you soon. Math on. Woohoo.